friendo, Steve here. Welcome back to the channel. Whoa, what a weekend in wrestling we just had, right? We had the return of CM Punk. We had WWE Summerslam there in front of 50,000 people or so. The return of the Becky Lynch, Brock Lesnar. We had Walter tapping out to Ilya Dragunov. Man, hell of a weekend. Thanks to everybody joining us over there at Going In Raw for all the live reactions and live streams we did. That was a lot of fun. And it looks like everybody had a good time out there in Vegas. So that's great. But I want to look today at one of the more divisive events that happened this past weekend, and that was the return of Becky Lynch, who came back and in very kind of confusing fashion turned heel and sucker punched Bianca Belair and beat her in 26 seconds for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Now, if you remember, this match, of course, was advertised to be Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair. Dave Meltzer, the Wrestling Observer himself, is saying 8 days before SummerSlam, the WWE caught wind that Sasha Banks wouldn't be able to make it. We don't know why. It's probably none of our business. And so they came up with this plan. Becky Lynch apparently wasn't supposed to come back till a little bit later, like next month or the month after, but they brought her back for SummerSlam. And now, according to PW Insider, Becky's a bad guy. WWE is booking her as a heel. They are in storyline making her a bad guy, right? Is this ultimately going to pay off with Bianca Belair being triumphant? You know, them trying to build her up even more after doing such a great job so far. I don't know. You would think so, right? But who knows? WWE is weird. Vince is kind of weird. In this moment, though, at SummerSlam, given that this is a huge return, not CM Punk huge, but still a really big return. She's been gone for like, what, a year and 4 months or so. To have her really just steal Bianca Belair's thunder and leave a lot of fans confused, it just seems like an oddball decision. Certainly, it was one that I felt was questionable because, I mean, certainly for me, it took the wind out of my sails when I was watching SummerSlam. But I thought it'd be fun to go look at the fan reaction to Becky's return on Twitter and then on YouTube in the YouTube comments for that WWE video return of hers. There's some interesting stuff going on there, but there seems to be oddly, sort of a consensus opinion on this, to be honest with you. We're going to take a look at Twitter first, then we're going to head up to YouTube. Before we do that, please give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Let's try to grow WrestleJuice. And yeah, I have nothing clever to say there. Let's hop into this Twitter thing here now. Bianca Tori Vega apologist says, Bianca squashed Becky and Lashley still got to face Goldberg. Vince, I swear to God. Let's see here. A couple people here enjoying it. Front row says, look, I'm happy Becky's back, but that was BS. Bianca deserved better. Let's see here. Captain Ferg Baba Ganoush says, following the Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair fiasco, I want to see Goldberg squash Lashley just to watch the world burn. Yeah, at that point, I was kind of like rooting for Goldberg, because it would have helped me win predictions there for the Going In Raw predictions title. Let's see here. Yeah, here's a good one. Vince, after he got Becky and Brock to return in less than 24 hours to keep his ratings above AEW. Let's see here. It looks like this is the entirety of the match posted here. Let's see here. Here's a WTF. Becky Lynch is the new women's champion. Becky returning just to smash Bianca in seconds is giving me Brock versus Kofi vibes. A lot of people were saying that. So many people were saying that. I get it. I get it. Becky Lynch winning the title in less than 5 seconds. It's unnecessary. There's no reason for this, says Kevin Owens. Undertaker's post Goldberg match face says, after all of us after the Becky Lynch return. Here's some great pictures of Becky Lynch. Let's see here. Furcho says, still with Becky and Lesnar returns today. This is still far to ever be too close to the top. Talking about CM Punk there. Let's see here. Oh, I saw this. My good friend Louis Dangour posted this story here from Give Me Sport. Nikki, I think he works for them. It says Nikki Bella was seemingly furious with Becky Lynch's shock return at SummerSlam, with the former WWE superstar especially unhappy with how Bianca Belair was treated in Las Vegas. You guys see this video? It's something else. Nikki Bella was asked, hey, what was your favorite SummerSlam moment? She said, I didn't have one because I'm paraphrasing, said, I didn't have a favorite moment because Bianca Belair shouldn't have lost that title in the way she did. And she was serious. Man, that was crazy. That was awesome. I really like that. Unless she's just in on it and they're working this whole thing and Becky's going to be a heel and Nikki Bella's going to fight her too. I don't know. Lavelle Porter says Becky Lynch pins Bianca Belair in 5 seconds. Me? Yep, that's the face right there. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a good one. Alex says how everyone felt Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair at SummerSlam. Becky Lynch returns to SummerSlam to face Bianca Belair for this championship, and Bianca Belair loses in 26 seconds. So yeah, let's head over. Oh, look, my friend Jack the Jobber right here says, well, I've never been more annoyed at a Becky win, right? And we'll end with this. The Jobber's Tears podcast says, well, that whole Becky shit really killed the mood of this pay-per-view. They pulled the trigger too soon. I agree 100,000%. It's totally true. It killed SummerSlam from that point on. It killed it for me. Like, there was banger matches too. Seth versus Edge, Roman versus Cena, the Raw Women's title match. That's all good stuff. And it just killed the mood for me. Let's go over to the YouTube and see what's going on over there. Let's dive into this. Number one, the thing that I sort of noticed, first and foremost, is how kind of underwhelming her return video has performed on YouTube. If you take a look at here, you can look at the numbers here. So the full highlights for SummerSlam did pretty well for them. 3 million. Goldberg sending Bobby Lashley flying with powerful toss is apparently a WWE Network exclusive. It got almost 2 million views. I would have figured Becky Lynch's return would have gotten more than that, but it's only at 1.3 million views, which is kind of interesting. For comparison here, Brock Lesnar, his return with his weird beard and hair combo is at like over double that. It's damn near triple that. Well, not quite triple that. It's in between double and triple that, whatever that number would be. Comparatively speaking, other videos here, I mean, yeah, aren't coming even close to any of those numbers, obviously, which is pretty interesting. So that's nothing to sniff at, that 1.3 million. Just for comparison's sake, let's flip over here to All Elite Wrestling. CM Punk's return is at almost 5.4 million. But, I mean, look, let's be honest here. CM Punk's return is difficult to compare the two things, numerically speaking, because CM Punk's been gone for 7 years. And this is like a massive, massive moment. Becky Lynch is a big deal, but she's only been gone for, like a year now. So comparatively speaking, it's not that big. Has it been? Oh, it's been a year. It's been a year and change, huh? It's like a year and 4 months. Okay. But still, it's difficult to compare the two. Anyways, let's hop back into it. So let's take a look at this Becky Lynch video. One thing I want to take a look at. So like this right here, this Goldberg one, I'm kind of curious what the like to dislike ratio is. So let's take a look at this. We're going to mute this guy. Oh, it's already muted. Good. So this right here has 37,000 likes and 1.3 thousand dislikes. Comparatively speaking, Becky Lynch, her return has 4,000 dislikes and the same number of likes, 37,000 likes. So I don't know, kind of interesting way to gauge fan reaction. Maybe, I don't know. Let's dive into these comments here. All right, this first one here, look at this. This comment has 4,000 likes. It says, Vince, Punk is trending at number 1. We need to change that. Let's send out Becky to bury our women's champion on her return. That's kind of how it felt, to be honest with you. Like it was just, and honestly, it deflated me for the rest of SummerSlam. I might be in the minority. I don't know. But I kind of feel like, there were some good matches afterwards. Like Seth versus Edge was good. Cena versus Roman was good. But man, this sort of just took me out of things. So I was very confused about what was happening here. Let's see here. What does this say? This says, a better return would be Carmella talking smack on the mic to heavily insult the crowd to get heat and get annoyed. Bianca squashes Carmella. Everyone would have been okay with that since she didn't earn that title shot. Bianca smack talks Sasha on the mic. Then she asks, is there anybody left to challenge me in this division, or should I go to Raw and see what's up? Becky's music plays. She comes down and challenges Bianca for the title at a later date. There's a number of ways you could fantasy book this, by the way, that I feel like would have been better. But apparently they do want Becky. That, like, this is part of Becky's heel turn. I just don't It didn't really feel like, it was very confusing the way they did it. I'll put it that way. Let's see here. Earth Chan here says, I love how most of the comments agree that Becky can have a comeback, but not for taking Bianca's title just like that. I saw a lot of people comparing it to the Kofi Kingston Brock Lesnar situation. I kind of agree with that. Kenjamin says, it's actually hilarious how bad Vince's got at booking decisions. He literally could have just had her walk out, stare down Bianca, and people would have lost their minds. But no, he had to try and outshock AEW. Great job on that one, by the way. Let's see here. Ilian Rivera says, Bianca was so happy to see Becky come down the aisle. They should have made this match longer. Maybe have Sasha interrupt the match, disqualify them, and have a triple threat sometime in the future. Yeah, I mean, Sasha wasn't cleared. That's what we kind of know, according to like the dirt sheets and stuff, the wrestling journalists out there, that Sasha actually couldn't go out there. She wasn't cleared, and that was sort of the point. But apparently they knew that for about a week prior. According to Dave Meltzer, they knew that for about a week prior. Let's see here. Yeah, Guilherme Lupi says she could have returned to face off against Charlotte, but no. Let's have her beat Bianca in 10 seconds. Love that she's back. Just hate the consequences of it. This is like the biggest return for WWE in a while. And the fact that they, I'm going to say it, in my eyes, botched it so hard is a real big shame, you know? Parrot Party says, so the EST can lift up Otis in a fireman's carry and walk with him, which was a great moment on SmackDown. But she can't kick out of the weakest rock bottom ever. I love Becky, but really, guys, and that's sort of the point, too, is that everybody here says, man, we love Becky. Becky's great. She's terrific. She's awesome. Why are you doing this? Let's see here. Eddie Austin says, even though I like Becky Lynch, I was shocked about Bianca Belair's quick loss. Well done, Vince. You did her real dirty. DJ Valdez says, WWE ruined what could have been an epic match. Everything about this was wrong on so many levels, but was expected. Sad, WWE's burying so much talent. GB says, this return was rushed, and you could tell they didn't even have time to plan a match. Bittersweet moment here, but apparently they had 8 days, according to Wrestling Observer, who, if he's right, they had 8 days to figure this out. Kind of crazy. Ethan says, Becky's my favorite female wrestler. I love that she's back, but definitely not at the expense of Bianca's reign. Here's the thing. We get emotionally invested in these characters when they're done right, and when they come across as genuine and real, right? Like, we get invested. That's to the credit of WWE. And then to go and do this, again, I understand maybe they have, you know, for the, wait and see how this plays out crowd. I understand they might have like a story that they're going to tell. It's just the way they started this story. Like, they couldn't have had Becky come back in a big way and then have her turn on Bianca on SmackDown or something like that. I don't know. Muhammad Assad says, Becky could have easily returned after Charlotte's win to confront her. I guess they want Becky on the Fox network. You know, Seth is there, although I feel like he's a lower priority than she is in terms of, you know, their marketing muscle, where they want to put it. Yeah, given how Charlotte has like literally run Becky down in her promos, you know, when the crowd starts chanting Becky, Becky, she's like, nah, screw her. She's at home breastfeeding or whatever. Let's see here. Michael Uhler says, that's an adorable return, while CM Punk's return literally broke servers. We're going to talk about CM Punk's fans' reaction on tomorrow's video. I'm about to shoot it right after this, then you guys can watch it tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, look at this. It's all the same kind of thing, which is interesting here. And here's the thing, like, none of this really seems like overly toxic or negative. It's just disappointed fans saying, hey, we really like Bianca Belair and we really like Becky. Why do you do that, WWE? Why you do what you do? Oh, man. Anyways, look at Don Weir says she's looking extremely gorgeous. Don Weir, she's taken. She's taken, man. Let's see here. A couple more good ones here. Pro Wrestling Revolution says, I can't stop watching the 2 returns. There were 3 returns: Becky, Brock, and CM Punk. Let's see here. Kiwi says, I'm glad Becky's back, but having her beat Bianca Belair in like 10 seconds is some true bullshit. Wawa says, this is not it. Let's see here. Yeah. Joe says, I'm a huge fan of Becky, but CM Punk's return was a lot more great than this. I agree with you, Joe. We're gonna look at CM Punk's return on the next video, so be sure to check that out. If that video is already dropped by the time you're watching this, then cool, right? Yeah, check out one of these other videos here. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. Let me go to the big screen to say this. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.